Hey, we've got to deal with a breaking story. On Drudge today, there was a preview from the Guardian of this new book that's coming out by Michael Wolff, and it has Steve Bannon going off on Trump and saying that this meeting that Trump Jr. was going to take with a Russian was treason and all this stuff. And Trump has really been kind of going at Trump. Bannon has been really going off the reservation on Trump, and Trump has been uncharacteristically restrained in responding, because Bannon, I remember we said before, when Bannon supported a guy against Trump who then lost Alabama, very, very strong questions about his competence. Everybody with Bannon always focuses on his ideology and his ideas. But as I said then, that very, very powerful questions about his competence came up. You cannot lose Alabama to the Democrats. It's almost impossible to do it. And yet Bannon helped do it. Well, Donald Trump has just run out of patience, apparently, and he just released a statement saying Steve Bannon has nothing to do with me or my presidency. When he was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind. Steve was a staffer who worked for me after I had already won the nomination by defeating 17 candidates, often described as the most talented field ever assembled in the Republican Party. All of this is true, by the way, just saying. Now that he is on his own, Steve is learning that winning isn't as easy as I make it look. Well, this guy really, is not a guy you want to be on his wrong side, I guess. Steve had very little to do with our historic victory, which was delivered by the forgotten men and women of this country. Yet Steve had everything to do with the loss of a Senate seat in Alabama held for more than 30 years by Republicans. Steve doesn't represent my base. He's only in it for himself. Boy, this is brutal. Steve pretends to be at war with the media, which he calls the opposition party, yet he spent his time at the White House leaking false information to the media to make himself seem far more important than he was. It is the only thing he does well. Steve was rarely in a one-on-one meeting with me and only pretends to have had influence to fool a few people with no access and no clue whom he helped write phony books. We have many great Republican members of Congress and candidates who are very supportive of the Make America Great agenda. Like me, they love the United States of America and are helping to finally take our country back and build it up rather than simply seeking to burn it all down. Well, the Trump, I'm not really surprised. I'm a little surprised that Trump waited so long to unleash that. But, Trump is also looking ahead to the 2018 elections that he doesn't want Bannon going around. Mona Charen had a hilarious tweet yesterday. Mona Charen from National Review. She said something like Mitt Romney may run for the open seat, and that Orrin Hatch is retiring, and so Mitt Romney may run for that open Senate seat. And Mona Charen said, but Steve Bannon is canvassing prisons and madhouses for candidates. So, Donald Trump is looking forward and thinking, like, I do not want this guy losing any more of my majority than I have to lose in these 2018 elections. So now we've got, Bannon was always signing his letters, #war. Well, now he's got himself a war, and I don't think this is a war that Bannon can win. I think if he goes up against Donald Trump, the only thing that Bannon has really going for him, he has the Breitbart site, and he has the money from the Mercers. And if the money from the Mercers goes away, if they start to think that they've backed the wrong horse, Bannon's just going to have a website like everybody else. Everybody has a website, and it's not going to really do him much good. It was Trump who really made that website explode the way it did. So this is interesting, interesting political stuff.